I don't take that final score and take anything out of that. Sure, there are absolutely things to improve on. You got to figure out some things with the corners. It's just interesting. I think that's going to be a big question. And especially with the pass rush, Chandler Jones not being there is a big deal. So you got to, I mean, is JJ Watt fully healthy? Like, you got to, who's going to rush the passer? What we got here. So those are the types of things that I think are more indicative. Than I'm not as worried about the offense. And Kyler is very dynamic and scary on every play for a defense. So I don't put this one on them. They're just weren't enough. Like, you're playing with half your squad not there, and it's the Chiefs. It's not like it's, a rebuilding team without a Hall of Fame quarterback, right? So
when DeAndre Hopkins was traded to Arizona, we talked about the trickle down effect he can have of making his other wide receivers, giving them a little bit more space to work with, not having as tight of coverages. With him not being there in these first 6 weeks, there's also no Rondell Moore. How does that affect the wide receivers that are still working with Kyler Murray?
I mean, they're probably getting the coverages are going to be significantly tighter. The opportunities and looks just in general. I mean, look, DeAndre Hopkins on the perimeter is like a special thing. Like, across the league, it is a real thing. Like, the amount of times, and remember, he didn't start his career with a quarterback that was anywhere near as dynamic as Kyler Murray. So yes, he did have Deshaun Watson for a while, but he's had some dicey situations there. And his ability to stay in bounds kind of between those hashes has been really prolific. And when you can do that, you are literally stretching the field horizontally. But every year you got to get back up into game speed, and you got to get back up into game speed with all the pieces and the new parts of the playbook and the new offensive so it's never just one for one. We talk about continuity. Sure, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have it easier, but they still don't have it easy, right? They still have to get it back. There's still some reps that are necessary to take it. And we aren't really getting those in preseason.
What's most concerning about that defense when you're also going to play the Raiders next week and then the Rams, and you have a lot of prolific passing offenses that you're going to be going up against this year?
Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. I mean, both of those two that you just named, the Raiders and the Rams, they both have question marks along their O-line. Raiders specifically rotated in 3 different right tackles for situational downs. Like, that's not helpful. That's very, very difficult. So if you can get to Derek Carr, Khalil Mack had 3 sacks. Like, that's how you stop them. And then the Rams, you saw the Bills defensive front is, that's a scary front, right? So you have that front coming at you, and a new left tackle in Joe Noteboom. Like, that's going to be hard. I don't care. Like, I kind of don't care like which team you are. Like, pass rush and the defensive backfield works together. When you have great safeties with the trends that are going on in the league right now, with the zone and how zone's starting to work a little bit different. I mean, you saw last week, Leslie Frazier, 0 blitz on Matthew Stafford. They were able to get pressure with him without bringing the blitz, but it's very rare to not blitz once. Like, it's super rare. So if you have like this nice balance and the safeties are playing in the right way, because remember the strength of their secondary is their safeties, especially with, they're missing Tre'Davious White. So safeties, and you're actually like, the middle of the field is much better off than it seems, but you got to get that rush up front. You got to get that rush up front, help the guys in the back out. It all works together. So especially in these next 2, exploiting the weaknesses. You've got to get to Derek Carr. Boom. Like, otherwise Devontae Adams is going to carve you up.
Cynthia Frelund, I always feel like I learn something whenever I sit down and talk to you. So I appreciate the time and the insight. Looks like we're in for a really fun 2022 football season.
Oh my goodness. It's going to be so much fun.